Hello everyone, and welcome to Evolving with Cameron Jewell. I am Cameron Jewell, and in this video we are going to be learning about the lymphatic system. By the end of this video, I want you to have a good idea of what the lymphatic system is, what it does, why it is so important, and what we can do to nourish and strengthen our own lymphatic system, because everybody has one. So, what is the lymphatic system? A few months ago, I had quite a few people ask me this question in a short amount of time, and that worried me because our lymphatic system is so important for the state of our health. In short, our lymphatic system is a network of organs, vessels, and tissues that work together as a waste control system. This system helps to cleanse our blood, cleanse our cells, and to help keep the fluid in and around our cells clean. I really appreciate the idea of viewing the lymphatic system as a waste control system in our body, because essentially that's what it is doing. It is helping to clear waste from the cells, from the tissues, and from our body. And some of the organs that play a big role in this system include the liver, the intestines, the kidneys, the skin, and the lungs. There is another group of organs that play a big role in the development of the lymphatic system, and those organs include the spleen, the thymus gland, and the tonsils, and there are some more, but for the sake of time, we're not going to touch too much on those organs in this video. In modern medicine, there has always been this idea that the body is a solid machine-like structure, but the truth is that our bodies are at least 70% liquid. Some fun facts that I would like to share with you is that the lungs are 71% fluid, 75% of the liver is fluid, and 83% of the brain is fluid. So think about it. Most of our body is actually fluid. And this is a good opportunity to ask ourselves, what is the state of that fluid? That liquid. Is it clean and healthy, or is it thick and stagnant? Think of the water that we drink or bathe in. Would we want to bathe in or drink dirty water? That fluid in our body is made up of the fluid that we are consuming. So, if we drink a lot of sodas or consume a lot of high fructose corn syrups and fake sugar, it literally will thicken our blood and our body fluids. We have 4 types of fluid inside of our bodies, and these fluids are blood, lymph fluid, intracellular fluid, which is the fluid that is inside of the cells, and extracellular fluid, which is fluid that is outside of the cells. And each of these fluids have their own jobs, but just like everything else in our body, they all work together as well. In this video, we are mostly going to be focusing on the lymph fluid. And the lymph fluid is the lymphatic fluid that flows through the lymphatic system, and it contains white blood cells, other immune boosting cells, proteins, and other substances that help to deliver nutrients to our body and also carry away wastes. The lymphatic system is a type of circulatory system, so it has its own capillaries, vessels, and lymph nodes. Lymph nodes are these little oval-shaped filters that you can find throughout the lymphatic system. We have about 800 of them in our body, with most of them being in our throats, our armpits, and in our groin area. And these filters help to capture toxins and foreign invaders and help to break them down and neutralize them and break them down, and then release what's left back into the lymphatic stream to be carried by the blood to the organs like the kidneys and the liver and the intestines and the lungs to be disposed of. If you've ever had to fight off an infection, you might recall these filters being swollen, and oftentimes when you are fighting an infection, you can feel them in these areas. And when they are swollen like that, that's an indicator that your lymphatic system is clogged and a little sluggish and needs some extra support in ridding the body of these toxins. The intricate design of the lymphatic system helps the body to break down and rid itself of foreign bacteria, viruses, and waste. It also helps to regulate the body's overall immunity, helps to maintain tissue pressure. It also helps the intestines to absorb dietary fats, which is a pretty cool, fun fact. All of the tissues in the body, except for the bones, teeth, and nerves, are traversed by a number of lymphatic capillaries. Be sure to check out my class on the cardiovascular system to learn more about these circulatory systems and the roles that capillaries and veins and vessels play in our body. The lymphatic system works to return excess fluid from your body tissue to the blood. And oftentimes you can see an example of this with edema when fluids are pooling and swelling around the ankle and the lower leg. That is a big sign that the lymphatic system needs support because it's not able to transport those fluids properly. The lymphatic system acts as a defense system against disease, and it absorbs fat and fat-soluble vitamins from your digestive tract and helps to transport them to the blood circulation. And I think that's pretty cool. So let's talk about some of the signs that your body will give you when your lymphatic system is not functioning properly. Some of these signs include poor immunity. So you catch colds and flus often, you have frequent infections, skin eruptions, joint pain, migraines, fatigue, bloating, and that edema that I spoke about, the swelling or the fluid buildup in your legs, and also cellulite. A great way to prevent lymphatic malfunction is to understand what contributes to lymphatic malfunction. So let's talk a little bit about that. Unfortunately, here in the United States, much of the food and food-like products that are sold to Americans are loaded with artificial ingredients, chemicals, and toxins that clog our lymphatic system along with the rest of our body, which means that our body is under constant attack, having to defend itself against outside invaders. Because like I said, most of these are food-like products. These are not things that our body recognizes, and so therefore it makes it an invader. The food that we eat is usually the heart of every class that I teach. I want to bring awareness to the foods and products that damage our lymphatic system and damage the rest of our body as well. And I want to empower you and help you to find the tools needed to help you and your family ensure that you have healthy, happy, functioning lymphatic systems. So some of the products that cause a lot of damage to the body include artificial foods, colors, and preservatives. Laundry detergent is a big one. Most of the commercial laundry detergent products, like Tide and Gain, are poison for the body. Body wash and soap, like Dove and Axe and these other brands that are poisoning us. Shampoo and conditioner, perfume, and all artificial fragrances are just a bomb to your lymphatic system. Air fresheners, both in your home and in your car, are incredibly toxic. Feminine hygiene products, so the tampons and pads, and most, especially if they are scented and not organic. Household cleaners, processed foods, processed sugars, seed oils, and breast implants. Not only breast implants, but the Botox, butt implants. When we put foreign objects into our body is designed to target and work to eliminate those things. And whether it's something we have inserted into our body that our body cannot get rid of, or if it is these toxic chemicals that we are constantly surrounding ourselves with or consuming, we're not giving our body the opportunity to fight these things. Now that we've learned a bit about the lymphatic system, the organs involved in the lymphatic system, how this system functions, and what can harm this system, I want to talk about ways that you can support your lymphatic system. One of the best things that you can do to support your lymphatic system is to reduce the toxic chemical load that we put onto and into our bodies. Pay attention to all of the things that I have already listed. Take a look at your food. Ask yourself, do I know what I am eating? Is this real, wholesome, nourishing food that came from the soil, from the dirt, from animals that were loved and cared for? Or are these processed fake ingredients packaged into a box for me to now feed myself and my family? these changes can be overwhelming and can seem insurmountable at first. If you feel like you would like some support on your journey to start reducing the chemicals in and around you, please reach out to me, work with me one-on-one, visit my website, communitynourishment.org. I offer 15-minute free complimentary phone calls, and I'm here to answer any questions that you may have. So first we're going to talk a little bit about dry brushing, and then I want to dive into herbs that you can work with in conjunction with eating real food, reducing chemicals in and around you to not only support your lymphatic system, but support and strengthen your entire body. Dry brushing gently stimulates your lymphatic system and the vessels that carry that lymphatic fluid and help to remove blockages, help to relieve the lymph nodes from buildup, and help to get those wastes circulating so they can be delivered to the organs that help to carry them out. You can purchase a dry brush online at a local grocery store. There are a lot out there, so look for them, pick which one you want to work with. And then to use your dry brush, I want you to picture your body divided into 4 quadrants. So a line going right down the middle and right through the center where your abdomen meets your legs, okay? And how I recommend starting is to start with your lower legs from the knee down and gently brush those parts of your body with the dry brush. And the reason why we want to start with these lower extremities is to, if there is any stagnation in that area, we want to get it moving. So that way, as we move up, these fluids have somewhere to go. So start with your lower legs below the knee, and then come up to your thighs and the back of your thighs. Brush those with the dry brush. Do your lower abdomen, and then come to your arms, do your forearms, do your hands, move up to your shoulders, and then down again to the upper part of your abdomen, your chest, in the middle there, and just gently brush these parts of your body. You don't need to apply much pressure at all to stimulate the lymphatic system. And what you are doing is you are helping to break up any stagnant waste. You are helping those filters to break down and release the toxins that they have captured so they can go back into circulation to be delivered to your organs that help to rid of them. Also, physical movement on a daily basis, at least 30 minutes a day, preferably an hour, where you are moving your body, stimulating circulation, allowing your blood vessels to contract and expand and move fluids through. Physical exercise is critical for health. Objects in motion stay in motion. Objects at rest stay at rest. And you are alive. You're vital, right? You want to be moving. Movement is life. So even if it's just, a 10 to 15 minute walk, which I always recommend taking a walk after each meal, just a brief 10 to 15 minute walk to help digestion. But those walks are also going to help to get blood and nutrients moving through your body. It's going to help your body to rid itself of waste. So it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Just make sure that you are moving your body regularly. I'm really excited to talk with you about herbs and how you can work with herbs to support your lymphatic system. And as I go through these herbs, I'm probably going to call a lot of them my favorites. So many of them are my favorites. But my first favorite that we are going to start with is poke root, often known as pokeweed. And this plant has a bad reputation of being toxic, of being poisonous, and it's not. There is not one case of somebody dying from pokeweed. But that's for a different video at a different time. For now, I want to talk about this medicine and how you can use it to support your body. And I also like to remind people that the difference between medicine and poison is dosage. And pokeweed really is one of those plants that Brooklyn agrees. Did you hear her? Pokeweed is one of those plants that you want to work with in lower doses. I have personally witnessed pokeweed reduce joint pain, edema, which again, remember, that's that fluid buildup in parts of the body, especially the legs. And I've also seen it work wonders in fighting off viruses. What I do is I make a tincture out of poke root. And the dose that I recommend is starting with 1 single drop right under your tongue in the morning, followed by a glass of hot lemon water. And then as time goes on, you can slowly increase your dose. I know people who work with pokeweed every day. I love it. I have gotten myself up to about 10 drops under my tongue, and it does it gently and effectively and quickly, can stimulate your lymphatic system, get those fluids flowing. Other parts of this plant can be used medicinally as well, including the leaves and the berries. The leaves, you want to blanch them at least 3 times before eating them, like spinach. The berries, you can eat a couple at a time without chewing them. And do not chew the seeds. And when you swallow them, the seeds are going to help to bind to toxins and carry them out. And so I love poke roots, the whole plant. I will make a separate video on that, but that is by far one of the best lymphatic system herbs that I have found. Calendula is another great supportive herb, and calendula has more of an affinity for those lower lymph nodes, your lymphatic system in the lower parts of your body. I would also really recommend working with calendula if one of your symptoms includes rashes or toxins expressing themselves through your skin. You can make a nice hot tea out of calendula and enjoy it that way. You can also make a nice hot tea of calendula and soak a clean rag or old shirt or something in it, as long as it's clean, soak it in the tea and apply it to the area. You know, whether it's the area with a rash or you can feel or see those swollen lymph nodes, apply that washcloth soaked in the tea to the area as hot as you can tolerate it. You don't want it to hurt you. You don't want to get burned, but you do want it to be hot enough to relax the area and stimulate movement. Red clover is a great herb and very supportive to the lymphatic system. I find that red clover has an affinity for our upper lymphatic system, you know, those nodes in our neck and in our armpits. Honestly, combining red clover with calendula, they just make a great team and they work very well together. I have found that red clover is very supportive in breaking up the thickness of that fluid. If you have a lot of toxins and stagnation inside of your lymphatic fluid, blood, intracellular, extracellular, all of the fluids in our body, red clover is very helpful in helping to thin that up, reduce that thickness, get things moving so we can get rid of those wastes. Burdock root. I really love burdock root. I work with it daily. Burdock root helps to increase circulation. It helps to get those fluids in our body moving. Burdock is very supportive to the kidneys and to the liver, both of which we have learned play large roles in supporting the lymphatic system. Burdock is also very helpful if the symptoms that you are experiencing are skin eruptions. I tell people, I have people that come to me often talking about acne or pimples or rashes on their skin, and I always approach these situations from the inside out. When you are having rashes, when you are having eruptions, that tells me that your body is not able to get rid of toxins efficiently, and those toxins are starting to build up, but your body is designed to get them out. It needs to get them out in one way or another. So with our skin being our largest detoxification organ, oftentimes our body will work to push those toxins out through our skin. So you can drink burdock root as a tea. And again, you can combine burdock with calendula and red clover, and they work very well together. And you can also make the tea and use it externally as well. But I definitely recommend drinking it too. Cleavers. Cleavers is one of the most effective diuretic blood purifiers known. And I kind of picture cleavers just going in and just cleaving out the stagnation and the buildup in our lymphatic system. Diuretics help our body to urinate excess fluids, bring that excess fluid to the kidneys so it can go down into the bladder and be removed. Self-heal, also known as Prunella vulgaris. Self-heal also works great to circulate the lymphatic fluid, and that circulation is going to reduce stagnation and support the cleansing process. Self-heal is also known, it's known as heal all, is what self-heal is known as, and it's helpful in fighting viruses because it inhibits the virus's ability to bind, therefore inhibiting its ability to replicate. And self-heal disrupts biofilms, which makes it easier to fight bacteria. what harmful bacteria will do is go into your body and create like a barricade around itself, so that way our antibodies and our body's defense systems are not able to penetrate through to neutralize the bacteria. Self-heal is very helpful in breaking through that biofilm and annihilating the bacteria. I get pretty hyped up about herbs. Cayenne pepper or other spicy peppers. Spicy peppers help to dilate the blood vessels, and that dilation creates space for the promotion of blood flow and fluid flow. And I talk a lot about the flow of blood and fluids in our body in much of the work that I do because it is so important. And an example that I like to give is, stagnant water. Picture a pot of water that has been sitting on the stove for days or weeks at a time. After a while, it will start to host bacteria and other organisms. And that's what the stagnation in our body can do. Things are not moving to help keep the fluids purified. And so then organisms and other things can start to build homes inside of our body. I like cooking with cayenne pepper, or even I make cayenne pepper capsules, and I'll take one of those a day. And cayenne pepper helps to stimulate circulation from the middle of our body out to our peripherals. Another excellent culinary herb that you can work with is garlic. You can add it to all of your food. Garlic has an affinity for the respiratory system. So in us breathing, we breathe toxins out as well. So it supports our lungs in the role that it plays in detoxifying our body. And garlic is well known for its ability to fight off bacteria and viruses. The last herb that I'm going to talk about in this video is Astragalus. Astragalus is an herb that I use often in my own personal practice and with the people that I work with. Astragalus is an incredible immune boosting herb that helps to regulate the immune system and our body's stress responses. When we are under a lot of stress, both physical and mental, our defenses are often lowered. And when our defenses are lowered, opportunistic infections can take hold. Sometimes we have these infections on us just waiting for its opportunity to penetrate and take hold inside of our bodies. I want you to understand that I have only shared a little bit about the herbs that I've spoken about in this video. And as with all herbs, they are each unique and complex and offer so many different things. If you feel like one of these herbs called out to you, I highly recommend that you research it. And if you don't know where to start as far as resources go, you can visit communitynourishment.org/resources and see some of my favorite books and websites and teachers that I recommend. What a lot of these herbs have in common that I've talked about in this video is their nutrient content. They provide essential vitamins and minerals, and they assist in the absorption of vitamins and minerals, which helps in giving our body the tools that it needs to do what it is designed to do. Remember that our bodies are one of the most magnificent forms of technology that there is aside from the planet itself. Our bodies were designed to self-regulate, to heal, to be vital. And when we give our bodies what they need in order to do what they already know how to do, that's when we will begin to achieve sustained vitality. When we eat real food, when we move our bodies, when we hydrate and work with real medicine, we build resilience and strength within our bodies. And that will protect us from future disease and sickness. And if you're already struggling with disease and sickness, it will help your body to be able to combat that and become well. If you feel like you or somebody that you know would benefit from working with me, that is what I love to do. I love to educate, empower, and liberate people by teaching them about how their body works and what they can do to support their body. And remember, every single body is different. So what works for one person might not necessarily work for another person. Oftentimes it does not. So it's really important to learn how to tune into your unique body, learn how to listen for what it is asking for, and then learn how to give it what it is asking for. So if you have any questions or if you would like to work with me, visit communitynourishment.org/offerings. I do the consultations online over Zoom. I work with people all over the United States. Well, I work with people all over the world, but I can ship to people all over the United States. And I am here to empower you, to advocate for you, to cheer you on, and to believe in you, because you can do this. Remember that I see you and I feel you because I am you and I love you.